It's Katie Lee, and this is Katie Lee on Z103, the podcast, a replay of today's full show. Z103, it's Katie Lee. So one thing that I struggle with my puppy dog Nix is that it's like having a toddler. Her toys in the house are all over the place. I usually try and keep them picked up because my house is clean. I'm a clean person. Not the dog, though. But this morning, I walked through the house in the dark because I don't want to turn on the lights because it hurts my eyes. And so me and Nix were walking through the kitchen, and she has this little rubber ball, and I never know where it's at. But apparently this morning, it was in the kitchen. I didn't know that. She, tapped it, and it started rolling across the floor. I thought it was a mouse. I started screaming and freaking out, ran over to the lights, had a heart attack. It was just a ball. It was just a ball. I remember seeing it, and I'm just like, there's a freaking mouse in my house, and it wasn't running very fast, and so I'm just like, no way could that be a mouse. But, all of this was happening in the span of, 5-6 seconds that it took me to jump over to the lights and turn it on. It was just a ball. We're good, but if anybody knows how to teach a dog to clean up after themselves, I would love to get that figured out. Thanks. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds donated $1 million to hurricane relief. That's awesome. Love that. Pharrell Williams says the song Happy was born out of sarcasm, and now people use it to actually, show happiness. Kanye West is being sued by a former employee who claims Kanye made him investigate the Kardashians and follow his wife Bianca. That's not even that surprising. Eminem's Real Slim Shady video has surpassed 1 billion views on YouTube. And there's a Taylor Swift tribute band that makes up to $18,000 a show. I am in the wrong business. About to start up a Taylor Swift tribute band here in Idaho Falls. All right, that is your 2 o'clock tea here on Z103. If you needed an excuse to not cook tonight, then I have one for you because it's National Sausage Pizza Day. So, you know what? Get pizza for dinner tonight, and you'll thank me later. Z103, it's Katie Lee. I think this is about the closest that we will ever get to having a Krispy Kreme's donut place here in Idaho Falls, or East Idaho to begin with. But Krispy Kreme's is starting to arrive at McDonald's nationwide, and I'm kind of okay with it. So there's only going to be a select locations in Chicago starting out. That starts October 15th. And then they have the plan to extend 1,000 McDonald's restaurants by the end of 2024 and eventually to 12,000 locations by the end of 2026. Hopefully, we can get at least one of those locations in East Idaho. So, I'm totally about this. Because like I said, this is probably the closest we're ever going to get to having Krispy Kremes in East Idaho. I love Krispy Kreme donuts so much. I just am a little bit concerned about the quality of the donut if it's at a McDonald's. Krispy Kreme donuts are the absolute best. I love them. But in a McDonald's, I don't know how well that's going to work or how well that's going to taste. Are they just going to be are they going to be trucked from Utah, Krispy Kreme factories, bakeries, whatever, to McDonald's? Or are they going to have the things to make the donuts there in-house? If that's the case, we might have a little bit of hope. I don't know. I'm just excited for Krispy Kreme donuts. Let's just hope they make it to East Idaho. This is your sign to put down your phone and enjoy life because apparently Americans lose about 3 days a month to digital content overconsumption, like social media, scrolling, streaming. And it's not just the content, it's just the overload we feel guilty about. So put down the phone and let's, remember that we are present, we are in life. So put the phone away. I have to tell myself that too. It's not just you, it's me. I'm really bad at it. Katie Lee here on Z103. I have the perfect tips for you to find the perfect pumpkin because you got to get the perfect pumpkin to carve and have on your front step. And so with that, here is just 5 tips to bring home the best one. All right. Number 1, you check the pumpkins for soft spots, signs of mold. Always check underneath, press on it with your thumbs. Obviously not too hard because, you don't want to accidentally pop a hole in the pumpkin. That'd be really bad. And then you also look for one that has a handle or stem intact. I was pulling off my mom's pumpkins the other day, and I accidentally pulled it off without the stem, so now it looks weird. Anyways, a dark green stem is a sign that it was picked recently compared to, brown stem. I feel like that's kind of common knowledge. Number 3 is tap the outside of the pumpkin. A hollow sound means it's more likely to be easier to carve. I feel like it's similar to watermelons. No, I don't know. Don't take my advice on that part. Look for pumpkins with flat walls and not deep ribs. They're going to be easier for carving. And then you skip the tall, oblong pumpkins, which typically have stringier flesh and makes precise cuts difficult. I didn't know that. Usually I always get the ones with the deep ribs in it, or on the edges of it, because it looks more pumpkin-y, if that makes sense. And then number 5, when you think you found the one, set it on a flat surface to make sure that it sits upright and it doesn't lean to one side. That one is important, because you'll be sitting there, you'll get the cutest pumpkin ever, and then you put it on the counter and you start carving, and then you're just like, it's crooked. That's nice. My mom grew some pumpkins accidentally on her front garden, her front flower garden, from old pumpkins last year, and they are huge, probably the best pumpkins that we have ever grown, and we didn't even try to. They're really nice. And guess what? I don't even get them. My nieces and nephews do. Getting old sucks. Anyways, hope you find a perfect pumpkin. What food is delicious in small amounts but gross in big amounts? 208-524-1033 or on Facebook at Z103 Idaho. For me, it's definitely, my mind immediately went to wasabi. I've never actually had wasabi, but everybody always says small amounts are the best. But the other one is mayonnaise. You can put a little bit of mayonnaise on my sandwich and I'll be happy. But you smothers. I've been trying to say those two words together. Smother a ton of mayonnaise on something. Too much mayonnaise is disgusting. Okay. So what food is delicious in small amounts but gross in big amounts? I can't speak. I'm sorry. 208-524-1033 over on Facebook at Z103 Idaho. Eddie says Vegemite. I've never had Vegemite, but I have heard that if you do eat it, you got to do it in really small amounts. Lindsay says mushrooms. Yeah, I can agree with that. Taylor says Nutella. Absolutely not. Jenna says cheese. What? No. Give me all the cheese. I want all the cheese. Lots of cheese. Tons of cheese. Shelly says Cheetos. There's a fine line between tasty treat and gut gurgling. You're not wrong. And then there's Emily. I can completely and positively, absolutely agree with Emily here. Candy corn. I don't even like candy corn to begin with, so maybe that was wrong. So, what food is delicious in small amounts but gross in big amounts? 208-524-1033 or on Facebook at Z103 Idaho. Okay, this is actually a really cool thing. So, if you have a lot of leftover candy after Halloween, you can donate it through the Cash for Candy program by Healthy Wage. They're actually going to pay you $10 per pound of candy, and they're going to send it to troops overseas. And so you have to cover shipping costs, but the candy must be unopened, unexpired, and sent by November 15th, 2024. And I think that's super, super cool. Troops can enjoy Halloween too. And so we might as well give the candy to them. And that way you can save yourself and not eat all of it in one sitting. So I feel like I literally just went through something like this. So obviously, dating these days, it sucks. Like ghosting, unhealthy dynamics, anything like that. It's complicated. And I feel like a lot of singles are doing this now. We're focusing on setting healthy boundaries early in relationships. And I guess this has a name now. It's called guardrailing. So basically what it is, it involves protecting your energy, being clear about your needs, and avoiding compromise when you're not on the same page with somebody. And, communicating boundaries from the start can really prevent wasted time and emotional strain. So basically, we're all tired of getting into relationships and then finding out that it's not worth it, that you can't do it. And so sticking to boundaries is difficult, but it is going to help filter out incompatible partners and, lead to more possibilities of actual relationships in the long run. So I literally just did this to somebody. I'm sorry. I didn't ghost them. We talked about it. And it was the end. It helps you in the long run, I promise. I mean, I'm still single, but you know what? I feel like it's going to help eventually. Z103, it's Katie Lee. One of my favorite things on Fridays is nerd news. I'm not a nerd, but it's kind of cool to see all these sciencey things happening. So we have Spider-Man news. Researchers created a real-life web slinger They came up with a liquid that you can shoot from a needle, and then it immediately solidifies into a fiber. But guess what? You can't swing from buildings with it because it's not strong enough. Kind of a bummer. In spicy science news, a study found that expecting to hate something that's spicy can make it seem even spicier. Honestly, that's all in your head. And then we have space news, lots and lots of space news. So hang on for just a second. Experts are now saying a massive space junk disaster is inevitable. Basically, if two satellites collide, it's going to set off a chain reaction and destroy all kinds of stuff up there. And then some other quick space news here. We might be able to mine asteroids for organic compounds to make food for astronauts. And a big solar storm has the northern lights stretching south again. Basically, you've been able to see these for the past couple of nights. I still haven't seen anything because I am in bed. There's also, rumor has it, a huge alien announcement could be imminent. And NASA released some stunning new shots of Uranus. Some nerd news for you. You're welcome. I feel like there should be some people, some druggies or people that are going to, commit crimes. Maybe they should all just start a Facebook group. I know this is dumb, but maybe they should all just find a Facebook group and learn from each other's mistakes. Okay? Because I swear I've seen this story before. It's not the first time that it's happened to somebody. So Tuesday night, officers in Portland, Oregon, they stopped a man and woman in their 30s driving a stolen car. And so they searched the vehicle. Obviously, they found cash, a gun, scales, and drugs. Okay? Do we want to know where they found the drugs? Bet you can't guess it. They found it in a bag. That said, definitely not a bag full of drugs. I swear this has happened before. This has already happened. Does somebody sell these bags on Etsy or something? Like, what is going on here? Why do they think that is going to they're going to get away with that? Anyways, they're facing charges of unlawful possession of, drugs, stolen vehicle, possession of other things. So, yeah. Whoever's selling these bags on Etsy, probably just stop. Or, point the cops to them, and then we can just stop it right there. No more drugs. Z103, it's Katie Lee, and I am out of here for the day, my friends. I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Y'all stay safe, stay legit, be awesome. I'm headed to the Haunted Mill for the Haunted Me-Up tonight, so I'll see you later. Bye. Thanks for listening to Katie Lee on Z103, the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please share, subscribe, and rate the podcast. Katie Lee on Z103 is hosted by Katie Lee and is a production of Riverbend Media Group. For more information or to contact the show, visit riverbendmediagroup.com.